Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kimlin Sykes doing another segment on My Mom Monday. So, like I said, this is Kimlin Sykes doing another segment on My Mom Mondays. And I'm actually have some special guests here today. Like I said, I'm trying to like now branch off and just have like guests coming in. So I actually have some very special guests. I bought a few of their products, got very good products. Like I know, like this is a time like where a lot of stuff is going on with the nation and stuff like that. But if you need to defend yourself, like this is the ideal company to go to. So with that being said, y'all introduce yourself.
What's going on? What's going on? This is Hakeem Garner from Virginia Tactical Shooting Academy. Um, Fairly new company out of Richmond, Virginia. No, you good. You good. And I'm Sean. Everybody calls me Banks. Co-owner of Virginia Tactical Shooting Academy. Coming straight at y'all right now, man. It's good to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I said, like Hakeem is a very good friend of mine. I've been knowing him for about a year now.
About a year.
Yeah, man, it's been a blessing in disguise. Like one of my very good friends, I could truly say this is like someone that I support most definitely because like I'm proud to see how he has grown as an individual and stuff like that. So
You see me before we even started the business. He was here before I even had that thought.
Yeah.
And then you watched me pretty much grow into this.
Speaking into existence. So speaking of, my bad. So speaking into existence, like what sparked the idea of y'all just coming up with a gun business? Like I know like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's uncommon, but one of the things I've noticed is there's not many black-owned gun businesses. So what sparked that idea?
Well, it's definitely not many of us right now. But I will say, throughout the past year, you've seen a lot more of us, get into this industry. Once white male dominated industry, which it still is technically, but we're coming along. Really, Hakeem and I, we sat down at the park, man. No, at my in-laws' house, and we were just shooting, right? And we just sat there and talked for a little bit, smoked cigars, and we was like, man, we should start something that we just shoot. We should start a range.
Yeah.
Then we just started, politicking, talking, imagining, vision, had the vision going out there, and then the next thing, it was like,
let's do
it, yeah. Because this is something that we've been talking about for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Years. I mean, 4, 5, 6 years we had been talking about this, and at first, how you just sit around with your boys and it just, what we should do. Those conversations.
It's like casual homie talk. You be like, man, like I know, like my producer over here, like we've been talking about stuff like this for a while, and now it's starting to come into existence because you got to speak stuff into existence, like. Right. And a lot of times, like, them ideas that you have, like, people might say, like, this is not a good idea. But, like I said on this podcast, we're gonna cut. So, who gives a fuck, like, who likes your idea? Not, like, it's your idea. So, like, if you feel like it's going to be an opportunity and it's something that you love, why not pursue it? It's better to pursue it than, of course, not to. So, got to commend y'all on that, pursuing your passion.
Yeah, man. One day we decided, that it was enough talking.
Yeah.
And so we went on about it, and, it took us 4 months from the time we said that we was going to do it. Yeah. I think it was maybe a little bit longer, in order for this dream to actually, come to fruition. And, slowly but surely we getting there.
So
good evening, Frank.
Yeah, like so I can't I speak it to both y'all. So like, what would you say was something that was hindering y'all from pursuing it at first? Because like we all have certain like things that might be like, man, I might not have the money, or the time might not be right now. But what made y'all just say, like, man, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I'm going to just go ahead and pursue it. I've been having it on my mind. I know things are not perfect, but they're not bad, you know?
So I'll speak on this first. From a personal level and kind of me and Sean together, but we've always wanted to step outside the box.
Yeah.
Like, starting a business isn't something that everybody's doing. It's not the norm, you know, starting a business. It takes a lot of responsibility. It takes a lot of faith, believe it or not. Yeah. So,
being a leader.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Being the pack of the wolves, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty much, yeah. You take on a lot of responsibility when you decide to, you know, really step into it. Yeah. And I can say this, you know, respectfully out there, as Black people, we get nervous when we don't see the money, you know, when we don't see physically, or we're not physically touching it and you know, really feeling the business aspect, or, you know, anything of that nature. So we knew, you know, right off the bat, we weren't gonna see a lot of, you know, income. We didn't expect to see, you know, a lot of income coming in, or we didn't know what to think. It was fear and excitement all at the same time, for real. We had, like, literally, we sat outside shooting those guns, shooting the stuff, and we were like, yo, let's go all, let's do it.
Yeah,
like,
take that leap of faith.
Why not? Why not us? You know, instead of just saying that. We had did the what if so much. It's like, let's just do it.
Of course.
You know, and you know, to add to that, you know, it's one of those things, like I tell everybody, you know, if you feel something in your gut, you know, you got to step out on faith and do it. You know, you got to, because you don't want to live your life just thinking about, any regrets. Had I done it, you know, I wish I would have done it, you know, things like that, you know. And to be perfectly honest, you know, to everybody listening, to everybody that's watching us right now, you know, I probably shouldn't say it live, but, you know, it's the truth, you know. So the way we started this business, you know, Hakeem, you know, he has a full-time job. Mm-hmm. You know, I was a barber, right?
Yeah.
You know, and who would have thought that, well, I sure as hell didn't think that there will ever be a time where I wasn't cutting hair.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, step out that comfort zone.
You know, but COVID happened, right? Yeah. You know, and next thing you know, the shops closed. You know, and I wasn't cutting hair anymore.
Yeah.
And to that point, I was like, what the hell am I gonna do now?
Yeah, like, exactly.
You know, I could risk it and cut people's hair, you know, or, you know, I could wait this thing out.
Yeah.
But ultimately the answer was, no, you can't just sit and wait. You got to keep making other avenues to make a living, right?
Yeah, because I think COVID put us all through a situation like that, if you know what I'm saying. Because I know me personally, like, I know Hakeem kind of a little bit, let me speak to the mic. I know Hakeem a little bit firsthand. Like, I was dealing through some stuff, like relationships and all the other stuff. So, like, when COVID happened and, like, you just being isolated, like, that shit really does spark something in the brain, like you said. Like, you got so much downtime and, like, you don't know exactly, like, what to do with that downtime. But I feel like COVID personally was, like, the best thing that happened to me, because it was able to spark ideas that I wouldn't have had if I was, like, in your situation being a barber, or, like, because Hakeem and I, we worked together, we was just at the shipyard. Like, that shit wouldn't have happened. I don't think so.
Right. You know, and, you know, we didn't necessarily have the money. So once we sat down and did a business plan, and tried to really strategize how we was going to figure this out, you know, how we were going to make things happen. And then once we started adding up costs, you know, in order to get started, next thing I know, costs were like $50K, $60K. Yeah. And I'm like, Keem, I mean, it was a good thought, you know, but
shit, it's like impossible.
You know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, right? So to some of y'all out there, right, that got your unemployment, right, last year, you know, the what's it called, the the PUA, right? You know, some of you got that PUA, got that lump sum, and went out there and, you know, balled out, you know, went on trips and things like that, even though we were, you know, under quarantine and, you know, and stuff like that. Whether you bought shoes, whether you bought food, whether you bought clothes, you know, whether you don't even remember what you did with the money.
Yeah.
You know, I took that money and, you know, I wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
We had food in the house. I said, you know, let's stack this and use it for, you know, the next chapter of my life.
So can I ask y'all a question though? So
do some man dance.
Just to chime in for a second. Wanted to ask y'all, what was the first step y'all really took though, like in terms of like was some sort of permit, or for the people out there who say, "Dag, man, you know what I mean, it's possible out here, these black men, two black men, you know what I'm saying, from wherever y'all from." I didn't really get that from y'all yet, we just met, but you know what I mean, y'all made it through y'all struggles and y'all situations to be able to start your own business is something that's probably going to be able to make an income for not only you but your kids if you keep it going. Yeah. It's a thing that you could sell off so that to help other people get in that position. What was the, you know, the steps to that necessarily for y'all to do it legally?
Well, you know, I mean, that's a good question because I asked that a lot, right? You know, I get asked that a lot. And, you know, I want to be as clear and open as possible because, believe it or not, you know, there's not a lot of people that's willing to give you information, right? They say they're willing to give you information. Hey, hit me up anytime you need something. You need to talk this, that, and the third. Okay, well, here's that time. Oh, man, you know, well, man, you got to do a lot. Yeah. Well, I know that, but what are the steps?
Yeah.
But really, you know, from our, you know,
you gotta do your research yourself.
Experience, you know, yeah. We man, when I tell you we were doing nothing but research, man, Google, you know, reading everything, you know, Keem and I ordered books and stuff like that. But pretty much the first step, man, was to determine exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right? You got to have a clear and concise, you know, plan as to, you don't necessarily have to have the whole plan figured out.
Yeah,
but you got to know what you, right. Yeah. But you got to know at least what you want to do, right? And so with that, you know, it sounds cliche, but the first thing you got to do is you got to sit down and take the time to write a business plan.
Yeah.
Like you just have to. You know, my wife would tell you, you know, I wasn't doing anything at the time. We were in quarantine. I did nothing for 2 weeks. You know, probably a little bit more, but sit down and write a business plan. You know, and as you start to answer the questions that's needed to do a business plan, you know, you start to have more questions than answers. Yeah. Which leads you to do more reading. You know, and so once you sit down and do your business plan, figure out what type of business you want to be, then you go about the necessary steps of how to make yourself a business. Go to the IRS, get yourself an EIN number. You know, go to, well, being we're in the state of Virginia, go to Virginia, you know, website, sign yourself up as a business in the state of Virginia, whether you want to be an LLC, S Corp, whatever you want to be.
And y'all have an LLC, right?
Correct.
That's the best route to go from this like small business standpoint. So like most of y'all don't know if y'all want to start a business, like, and you want to start off small, just for purposes for taxation. And I'm not gonna go into deep details because I'm not the most got the exact expertise from it. But just from like my degree in business, LLC, if you want to go a route, just go that route. Just because of the taxation purposes itself, you don't get taxed as much as you do as a corporation, but you don't have as many losses as if you was a priorship or a partnership.
Right. No, that's exactly right. Like you know, doing business as an LLC absolves you of, you know, the liability, you know, from being sued and things like that, you know. And so people can come after your business and not you as a person. I'm no expert at it as well, you know, but from a small business perspective, you know, you want to be an LLC. But from there, man, we just applied for our licenses, our federal firearms license, and
Where'd y'all go to do that?
Yeah, so those who don't know,
so
somebody gonna want to know when they see this video.
So when you apply for your federal firearms license, you have to go on the ATF's website, print off all the necessary documents, right? And the packet was, 12 pages, something like that? So it was, and then you got to get your fingerprints done, your picture taken, all of that stuff, because all that got to be sent off. And you got to double check the application once you fill it out, because if it's not right, they'll just deny you. They won't tell you what you did wrong. They'll just deny you. And so along with getting the chief of police in your area, whatever county you live in, sending him a packet as well, to know that, you got a gun shop coming your way,
Yeah. And so, just for clarity, because I just want to make sure everything, and those who are listening. So, you said it's 13 pages just for gun store, or that's just for LLC?
Well, in order to obtain your federal firearms license, period.
Right. That's pretty,
it's
that's pretty, guns is itself is just it's going to be straight up, you're going to have to go through, some protocols. That's why I just want to reiterate that, just because, someone is listening, they were I want to, obtain, a business in, guns or any type of weapons. They need to know this, because that expertise, maybe I'm a little bit cliche or I'm a little bit, biased, but just looking at y'all, I look at y'all as the experts right now, just because y'all started it, y'all doing it, y'all pushing y'all stuff out. But also to those who has the same idea, just for them just to rehear this. How much hassle do you gotta go through just to have a gun business? Because that is that's probably more higher up there as far as the risk, risk reward, as far as beyond alcohol,
Yeah. I mean, so once you feel, there's a question on there, right, that asks you, why do you want to have your federal firearms license? And, to go into great detail to express why you want that. And there's literally a question that say, do you want your federal firearms license to better your personal collection?
Mm-hmm.
And which a lot of us do, but if you say that, then you're automatically disqualified, right?
Yeah, because they're going to want to know, why you want to do that.
There, he gave us the whole rundown, the ins and outs, what we can do, what we can't do.
Yeah.
And people going to try you. People going to try to do certain things or try to get you to buy, sell things on the table. Don't do it, or the whole spiel, really,
That's why I mess with y'all, because y'all try to keep stuff professional, and like I said, since I got a personal relationship with y'all, well, at least with my boy Hakeem, and hopefully further with you, Sean, I know with me, I'm not trying to do nothing under the table just to support y'all, because if I buy something from y'all, I want it to be legit.
Oh, it's gonna have to be.
It's gonna have to be. No, I'm saying legit, as in I'm not gonna take no shortcuts. I'm not gonna try to get handouts, because sometimes let's be frank, let's be blunt about this. And this is one thing that irritates me about, and I'm not gonna disrespect my culture, but it does irritate me about my culture. We want handouts from our own from our own kind, but we go to these stores this naming brands, Nike, Louis Vuitton, and you expect to pay full price. Why would I pay full price for something I'm not gonna get back in my pocket, but it's not gonna help me build back my community? Whereas if I see brothers or people of my own kind just trying to push their own business out there like that I know, in the long run, that could benefit me, that's going to know my name, of course, I'm not going to take no shortcuts from them. That's what one thing that I've done with Hakeem, whenever, if he asking for advice, or if it's something that I I want to buy from him, I'm not gonna ask him like, bro, give me a discount. It's like, nah, like, bro, just like tell me the price and I'm gonna buy it.
You know, you'd be surprised how often, you know, we get that. Kim and I talk about it a lot. You know, you can speak to that a little bit further, Kim.
That shit is annoying. Sorry. Just being real.
Yeah, we get that pretty often. However, it's nothing that we didn't go into kind of expect. You know, go ahead.
No.
Oh yeah, it's nothing that we thought of that we didn't really expect. We kind of went over all the what ifs before we even started the business, and that was one of the main. Believe it or not, I mean, it sounds like you said a cliche, but it's one of the main things because you know we hate to say it, but you know our kind, you know, or any race for that matter that is, you know, kind of expect. It's kind of like expecting something like, all right,
like
I know I'm getting a discount, or I know I'm getting this, I know I'm getting that. I can't say it happens, but it doesn't happen as much for us because we do our best to try to explain everything and try to educate. That's one of our main goals is to educate and inform. So we just try to educate, you know. I'll give you a nice little example. Glock. Glock, for example.
The infamous Glock conversation.
The infamous Glock conversation.
Okay.
This is a perfect example to roll into. So, everybody wants Glock, whether they understand Glock, whether they see it in a rap video, whether they see it on a commercial, whether they hear it in the news.
Just the brand
I mean,
is so sexy.
Glock is everywhere. Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, no granted, Glock is a really, really good product. I will never bash Glock.
Mm-hmm.
Police officers use it. Military, Secret Service uses it. Law enforcement, it says something when the Secret Service is using it and law enforcement uses it. It's a great, great product. A lot of people don't understand why it's so great. Why Glock is completely indestructible. You could throw it in the dirt. You could roll over it with a car. You could, you know, put water on it and it's going to still perform. So a lot of people just don't know that. They just want Glock. So we get this all the time. We'll get a Glock in, and of course the market right now with everything going on, if you look at a Glock right now, for instance, a Glock 19, Glock 17, believe it or not, they're probably going around 800, upwards of 800, 850.
Mm-hmm.
We sell our Glocks for a reasonable price, well under that, and people still will want, hey, we get questions, not to throw any names out, but it's just
like 6 times a week.
Yeah.
questions like, hey, a brand new Glock, you know,
Yeah,
even if
it's
it wasn't
already
brand
discounted.
new, Glocks for like, you have a Glock for like $400. It's not going to happen.
300. You know, like what's, you know, you got any Glocks in the $300 range? Absolutely not. No, we don't. You know, but that's a lot of the questions that we get, and really, I feel like it's our duty to inform a little bit more, but you know, because once you inform, people understand why Glocks cost, or SIGs cost, or HK or something like that cost the prices that they do. You know, it's very rare, even pre-COVID, to find, you know, those types of guns in the $300 range, maybe $400, something like that. You know, but we get that a lot. You know, a lot of people, you know we got the best price, right? Because we do the research, and even still, people are like, me, that's the lowest you can do. You know, you can't do it. Can you take $20 more off? And I'm like, man, I didn't search, I didn't look around here. We the cheapest in here, you know, and we still want a little bit more discount. But I will say it's not totally. It's in our blood to want to find a deal, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just who we are.
I'm not a prisoner of the moment.
You know,
think I never tried, like, even though I support y'all or I support other black businesses, you think I never didn't try to do that? But I would say this though, what we gotta understand is it's a numbers thing at the end of the day. Like, I don't know if y'all got an accountant or anything, but I'm pretty sure you got someone looking at those numbers like, hey, if you want to make X amount of dollars, you gotta sell it for this price. If you don't, you just gonna be under the water.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, luckily we just got an accountant.
Yeah.
You know, we just walked through those numbers a little bit, and you know, but that really just goes to show from business period, right? You know, we're a black business.
Yeah.
We cater towards our black audience. You know, we do. You know, we cater towards everybody, but we do this for the culture.
Exactly.
You know,
That's the purpose of everything.
but at the same time, we're still a business.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to think about things as a business. You know, we have to, act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? In order to make a profit, so that we can stay in business. You know what I mean? But that being said, we try our best to have the best prices. Do what we can. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you guys this though. So,
Yeah.
what would be for the people who don't know? Because I mean, believe it or not, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who want to get guns who legally don't know how to obtain them. How would they go on and go about this so that they can come and give you guys their business? What would be the first steps to do that so that they can come to you guys at what was the name again?
Virginia Tactical.
Virginia Tactical. So to go to Virginia Tactical and buy a gun legally, what does everyone need to do?
You want to take it?
Pretty much to buy a gun legally, it's really not as hard as you would think. More or less, you need a clean record. I won't go. I mean, we can go into a lot of detail with that, but I won't go into too much. Pretty much a clean record. Of course, no felonies, no misdemeanors, no anything like with aggravated assault. Nothing with assault. Pretty much, it automatically. You pretty much automatically fail the.
No, I was saying this is a cool.
Oh yeah, you pretty much automatically fill the questionnaire. But it's a questionnaire everybody will get. So if you come in and you wanna say you find a gun, you looking at it, you good, your background good, or your record's good, and you want to go purchase that gun. In the state of Virginia, you would have to have your Virginia license on, and from there we would run your background check at the office.
So they can come to you.
They can actually come to us, yes.
So where do they come find y'all at to come and go ahead and do that?
So we're located at 409 East Laburnum Avenue, Richmond, Virginia, Suite 12. Like Keem said, all you need is your driver's license or Virginia ID, and be able to pass a background check. Most of us know whether or not we can pass a background check. Even though we get some people that try us, or people who seem to forget that they had certain things on their record or whatever the case is. But, for the most part, we all know we can pass a background check.
Right. You don't committed a felony.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Better not be one of those people.
But
Better not. Gotcha.
But for real, even if you don't want to come in, right? If you don't live in Richmond or the surrounding areas, you can always go to our website, at vatactical.com.
Which I've been on a few times, just letting that
know. and purchase anything online, whether it's a firearm or anything. Now, the common misconception about buying, guns online is that you don't have to do a background check. But you still do have to do a background check, even if you buy guns online. You wouldn't believe how many free guns we get. Because someone bought their gun online from a website or something like that, thinking that, it's like Amazon,
You still got to go through a process, because
right.
I found that out. I found that out when I had went to y'all, when I had went to the last gun show up in Virginia Beach. I was like, well, I bought the gun. Like, well, I thought I'd be good. Then I found out, they was like, nah, you got to do a background check. I was like, background check? Oh, shit. I was like, damn, all right. Let me do this, but I already had purchased a legal firearm, so I'm not going to tell y'all what I got in my house, but just know, like, if you come up in here,
VA Tacticals
Yeah, like, hey, look, I'm strapped up. There's like anybody that watches this podcast know, like, I've let it be known 1 or 2 times on the podcast. I'm let it be known again. Coming here, just know you better hope I'm knocked the fuck out, because if I'm on a light sleep night, it's nothing for me to grab a gun. Just letting that be known.
Well, self-preservation is everything, and that's what Keem and we talk about the most.
That's what guns are for.
Well, yeah. I mean, not to switch topic a little bit, but
I actually got a topic going into that, so y'all just go ahead and just elaborate.
Everybody got to figure out, what's their reason.
Yeah.
What's their reason for having a gun.
What's your reason?
Me.
Oh, that's a deep one.
My reason for carrying a gun, man, is one, because I believe, self-preservation above all.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a duty, to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Unfortunately, due to how the nation is right now.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
There's a whole lot going on. Even from other sides, but even from us. Like people are out here desperate, right? People out here hurting, and hurt people sometimes, unintentionally sometimes. And we must be prepared. Not the fact that we look for
trouble.
No, absolutely not.
But you never know. It's that what if factor. Like what if something happens? Like you gotta be mentally prepared.
It's better be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
And speaking to someone who's been robbed before, it's yes, absolutely.
Can you
shoot.
How a firearm would have helped you in that situation?
Maybe. Luckily I'm still here, but at the end of the day, right? It was 4 a.m. I was watching the fleet of cars, and somebody, took their opportunity.
Yeah. You never know.
I gave them the cash that I had. Because hey, I'm not gonna fight you over it. Like, hey, But at the same time, from that point on, it just made me think. What if he took the money, and still shot. Because you have incidences like that as well.
Yeah, because you never know you don't never know, like,
mental state.
Yeah, someone's mental state. And, well, Hakeem, I'll let you elaborate a little bit. Then, like, after that, we're gonna dive deep into this, because I want to, like, dive deep into this, because this is a podcast on mental health, but also, like, with all this stuff that's going on, I really want to dive into this. So before that, Hakeem, what is, like, your purpose of carrying a gun?
Me and Sean have very similar purpose of carrying.
I
definitely believe in self-preservation. I couldn't. I don't even know how I would live with myself knowing that if a situation happened and I left this world, and knowing I legally could have a firearm or something that could protect me, and I didn't have it. Like, that changes a life, it changes life completely. So, for personal use, I carry concealed, have my concealed weapons permit. It's just like my keys, my wallet, my phone. My gun goes right with me everywhere I go.
That's important
when I first got it, I was super excited, and then, like, when it, I got my concealed weapons permit at the age of 21, right when I could carry it. Like, so right when I could start carrying a handgun, I got my concealed carry permit at 21. Keeping my little off topic, but your concealed permit does run out every 5 years, so you do have to renew it.
That's a good note for everyone to take who's watching this podcast. Please take that to note. Like, 5 years, renew. Pretty
much, yeah. You go renew it. But yeah, I started carrying fairly early, and when I first got it, I carried it everywhere, and then I kind of got laxed, and maybe I'm going to the store. I'm going down the street.
It's going to get emotional.
I don't need it.
You don't recognize it anymore.
But everybody knowing the world that we live in, those routine or sometimes those small runs will be that might be the moment where somebody wants to try you. You know, and it happens anywhere. Like at first, it could happen, you know, and like people will hear about Florida, like big time states, it happening over there. But people that want to commit crime, and they don't care, they do it anywhere.
That shit happens anywhere.
It could happen you going to your doorstep. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about it like that, and as I got older and more mature with weapons, it just, you know, it literally goes with me everywhere.
Yeah.
And self-preservation is just definitely, if I could sum it up in one word.
Yeah, bro. So with that being said, bro, like something I wanted to talk about, because unfortunately, a lot of shootings been going on. I mean, let's like take it from Georgia to Virginia Beach to Utah, to even just recently Indianapolis, where it's just like there's a lot of just random mass shooting for some odd reason. So like, with that being said, y'all, like, how does that affect y'all business? Because I'm pretty sure, like, I'm not gonna go into details with it, but it's a few of my relatives dead and family members that are afraid of guns, so I have to literally like keep mine without eyesight. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, like I said, how does that affect y'all business? Because I'm pretty sure there's people out here who face trauma just because of the fact that they lost a relative due to gun violence. So, like I said, how does that affect y'all business, of course?
Stand by, Will. I'm gonna answer that in a second.
You start first. Loaded question.
It is, but you know, it's because we going, like, this nation is going through a lot with gun violence. Like, and I'm not saying like on a neighborhood. It's like, bro, like we seeing stuff now where people is getting shot up at the beach. We seeing places where people get shot up just going to the grocery store. Hell, like I said, just recently, somebody shot up FedEx. I'm like, what the fuck is, where the hell is all this shit coming from with this random mass shootings where it's just like, you can't control it?
That's definitely a touchy subject, I know a lot of people who are just, afraid of firearms, whether it's something that stems from their past or whether they just, have the ideology that, guns are bad, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of people out there like that, and my thing is, what I always say to people is, the firearm itself, yes, we know what it was created to do. We knew what it was intended to do, but at the same time, it's just a tool, right? Yeah. It takes an individual with, no regard for human life to do things like that, right? The tool itself, will do nothing on its own.
Yeah. Like you said, hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Like, your regard to life. Like, if you don't value life, then when you holding that gun, you have no disregard for life.
Exactly. You have the power to do whatever it is you want, And, I really feel that, these mass shootings right now, man, while it's a messed up situation, right? Yeah. I don't condone it, of course. We know that. But, I don't feel like taking the guns out of, people's hands like you and I, or other law-abiding citizens, is the answer. I don't feel like that. And to Will answer your question, no, I don't feel like Virginia should, not have background checks and no training or anything like that. I feel like everyone should have a background check. Yeah. Why? Because, there's a reason why we have to do background checks. And I don't feel like lack of background checks or no background checks at all is the answer as well. Everybody should have a background check. So legislation, that wants to add more background checks, I don't feel like that is totally bad. Now, on the flip side of that, I've been thinking all day, how to answer that question, because I'm like,
just rode up here talking about just that answer.
That question's gonna come.
These
too much shit going on.
These mass shootings right now, man. Like, it's unfortunate because things like that make all pro Second Amendment people, look bad, right? Because if we don't want stricter gun control, we're for mass shootings, Even though it sounds crazy when you say it like that, but the narrative is, if we don't support, stricter gun control, then we must be okay with what's happening out there, and then we're not.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword. Like, it's two sides to every situation.
Now, mental health, evidently plays a huge factor in all of this.
Yeah.
And what do we, it's a slippery slope, between asking somebody to do a mental health eval in order to buy a firearm, because, now we're getting HIPAA involved. Now we're going, through people's medical history and stuff like that. And that could be a slippery slope through through channels of the government, So you got to be careful with that.
All right, I'm gonna let you answer that question, and then after that, I'm gonna ask you something about this mental health, because you said something about letting the feds come into it. But I'm gonna let Hakeem answer his per se on, and then I'm gonna just ask that question on mental health as far as guns.
Sean basically, he said a lot of, exactly what I would have said. I'm not even gonna piggyback. He said it exactly the same, but I would like to add, as if made it in sociology, so I like to explore the mind of people and whatnot, and just seeing the social constructions of people and seeing how people think. But there's also two sides to each story. I also look at it that let's put myself in somebody else's shoes. So, as a criminal, if I was a criminal, I don't care about strict laws. I don't care about any laws. That's why you get to perform. You're a criminal. So let's just say we do have strict laws, or if we were to even take weapons, we could take weapons off the table. We could take them fully away. There would still be crime. If somebody wants to do bodily harm, they're going to do it, regardless. Taking weapons away really doesn't help. It actually hurts the legal Second Amendment supporter, because you're just hindering the people that are trying to protect yourself. Yes, mental health plays a huge role, and most of it, you hear he had this problem, or somebody was bullied, or there's always an underlying factor that leads up to that mass shooting. And again, like Sean was saying, that is a slippery slope. But just fully taking the guns off the table is definitely not the answer. Because even if we did such, crime is still going to happen. You have countries that don't have any guns at all, and they still have crime. Lots of crime.
Of course.
And just to kick it to us from a more closer level. Look at New York, look at New Jersey. You can't have a gun at all in those states, and crime is still outrageous with weapons, and that those are supposed to be strict states. So it's definitely a slippery slope when you think about getting a mental health evolved. Again, I'm all for it. If we want to make the laws a little bit more strict, I'm all for it. Let's do it. But
you can speak for yourself on that one.
Yeah. So with me, like I said on one of my podcasts, I feel like we need to especially like mental health, and that's like piggybacking like off of this. Like a lot of people think like someone, of course, with like mass shootings, they does this just because like it's just something that just naturally occurred. No, like this is something like they were dealing with mentally far back. You know, like someone was being bullied, and someone was having these issues way before like they just said, I have no disregard for life. I'm gonna just snap, you know? And so like what my solution was to it was just like we need to like do stuff in like the school and stuff, but this like pertaining to y'all business because like, we probably need to wrap up within like the next like 10 minutes or so. But just pertaining back to y'all, do y'all feel like there needs to be like at least from a mental standpoint, because like we say taking a life is a lot mentally. Do you think like we need to do like a mental health screening before someone purchases a gun? Because like some people, like I think in Utah, what I've heard was the dude bought a gun, he bought some guns, and then a week later he shot up, the grocery store. So do you think, and like if you look at his background, he had issues, and people didn't deny that. So do you think that we need to do a mental health check before we actually allow someone to purchase a gun? Because this is big, like.
It's kind of, it's a tough question because, while there are some of us, and who may have been dealing with something maybe when we were younger, right? Maybe in our early 20s, or maybe even as a teen, we had certain issues, and so, is it fair, to really have that stuff haunt you for the rest of your life, right? And so we have to ask that question, and also on the flip side, while I might be sane today,
You might not be sane tomorrow.
I might not be, or maybe next week or next month. A certain series of events, in my life could happen to where that will cause me to not feel the same way that I did, sitting here talking to you, and that's the crazy thing about life. We just never know, and so down the road, we just may not be the same person because shit happens, and thankfully a lot of us, haven't, been so down and out to where we just saying, you know what, fuck it. I'm taking everybody out with me. Remember that person that pissed me off last week, or
I've had it.
For instance, the disgruntled worker at FedEx, evidently something happened, right? To make him leave work and come back and shoot that shit up. So we just never know. And so it's just a tricky question, man. It's like I don't really have the answers, and I just feel like, certain screenings, maybe some of us who have ADHD or ADD, now we're prohibited, from buying firearms, and it's tricky.
Issues. Yeah. So after this, I'm gonna ask y'all one last question, and we just gonna wrap it up. So
sure.
Go ahead, Hakeem, answer on this because this is a big topic,
That question is very, very difficult. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's all opinionated.
Of course.
The only way that in my opinion, Kimberly, that I see this could possibly work is just like I had mentioned, like when you have to renew your concealed carry, you would have to somehow if the government wanted to, endure that, like you would have to go through some type of screening, for instance, every 10 years.
Yeah.
So to try to catch if that person is off or anything like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, like Sean said, like let's just say we do a screening today. Next week I could be going through it. I could have had the worst week ever, and that's it. I snapped just like that. And that screening that we just did was for no reason, because it really doesn't matter if you do a screening or not. It goes back to my point. Somebody that wants to do bodily harm is going to do bodily harm regardless.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah, you can't always track it. Man.
Even if you take, going back, even if you take the easy access, as a lot of people like to say, away from firearms, you can still obtain a firearm if you wanted to. If you really, really wanted to, you can get a firearm illegally. So,
right. There's always going to be a black market.
Taking away firearms does nothing but hinder and handicap all the people that are trying to, help themselves. But yeah, just getting back on the screening part, it'll be extremely hard to try to do that.
Now, I will say though, if you wanted to require somebody to take a gun safety course before they can buy a gun, then that's something different. Because believe it or not, a lot of people should take some type of gun safety course, because you never been to the range, you never did anything. And you want to buy a gun, and then you fucking with it, at the house, and then
you discharge.
You know what I'm saying?
Gone.
So I feel like a lot of people should do that. So if they wanted to do something like that, I wouldn't be so opposed to that, because I feel like a lot of us need to know how to handle these firearms a bit better anyway.
And then they put more money in your pockets too, if you think about it. They ain't starting out on the.
There's a lot of people. What Sean just said. We get a lot of people that. I know a lot of people that they purchase a firearm, they never use it. It's up in it. They don't even know where it is. They didn't put it in a dusty spot. They don't even know where it is. So, I will say the thing about Virginia Tactical with us, we really, if you purchase a gun through us and you take our concealed carry class and you go through the possible necessary steps, we highly recommend continue to train with your weapon. Your weapon is a part of you. It's just like I said, it's just like your phone, your wallet is a part of you. It's something that could potentially save your life. You don't want that thing to jam. You want that thing to be, just as good as when you bought it. Yeah. So again, we try to really reiterate, like, once you buy the gun, it doesn't stop there. Get that training. Get those necessary steps that you need to be. As far as like, if you are unsafe, if you feel that you're unsafe, continue to reach out to people. Reach out to us. We love to help people as far as like training and safety. Safety is big. Like, it's a big step. The responsibility is a big step. So I'm definitely not opposed to if we were to go into some type of mandatory class. I would love it. Like, you're getting more knowledge on the weapon. Yeah. So therefore, you understand what that weapon does and the ins and outs.
All right, y'all. So look, we about to wrap things up. So like, this is my last question, and like, this is just like asking y'all, what y'all got planned for the future? But what do y'all got planned for the future? Like, what is like y'all future reservations? So those who like, that's been monitoring y'all on that's like on your website and stuff, like, what is like they expecting to look for in the future? Like, what's y'all big plans? Something coming up too. So.
Oh man, I mean, the sky's the limit, man. And so, really, coming up soon, like I went and did a live a few days ago, just letting everybody know, the range is coming up, man. We're trying to have this open, it's going to be a strong push. I mean, but the plan is to have it open by Juneteenth.
That's an important date.
Hey, that exactly, man. It's an important date.
Take that down myself, man.
We're trying to have it open by Juneteenth. Maybe not on a large scale, have everything completed, because it's going to be a work in progress. But that's the plan. We're about to get our memberships open. We're super excited. And so not only will we be doing our training or our classes in the, at our office and our classroom and stuff like that, but now we get to take the training out to the range, and that's what is important, man.
Okay. I like the sound of that, because I'm gonna have to definitely come to that range when I get a chance. too? Or
So yeah.
Oh yes, sir.
You know,
Like
the range is going to be, I mean, all the way from your traditional shooting, stand and shoot, up to about 300 yards, to your basic handgun courses, your shotgun courses, and for your more elite, we are going to have the tactical side of, technically in our name, we'll have the tactical side, which will be move and shoot, shooting from barricade, all of such. And it's just, I mean, each time we talk about it, each day, and as far as, you know, it's like it's getting closer and closer, and we just get so, you know, so excited to really give back and teach everybody that wants to, you know, not only just purchase a firearm and do a little bit of shooting, that like really master your firearm, which I think everybody should do. Not just a firearm, you should master everything that you do in life, but more saying this, like, you should master your firearm, know that thing inside and out, know, you know, how to shoot it, you know, what, you know, understanding everything about the firearm. But the range, man, this is coming, like my boy Sean was saying, Juneteenth, and that's really the big picture right now. It's just getting not only having a storefront, but having an actual shooting range that everybody can come to after they purchase it.
Of course, y'all. So, like, we about to wrap this up. So, with that being said, y'all, let's shout out y'all Instagram, y'all, you know, y'all website. Of course, I follow y'all, so I know it. But to those who's watching this podcast or who's curious about, like, where can I find y'all products at, just shout y'all website out, Instagram, of course, Facebook.
Man, so, you know, our website is vatactical.com. Instagram is va.tactical.llc. We're going to change the handle probably in the near future. It's Facebook, you know, it's Virginia Tactical Shooting Academy on Facebook. You know, our number is 804-234-3346. Whether you're looking to buy something, whether you're not, whether you just want some information on something, you know, please just give us a call.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, we just get calls just asking about certain legislation or how do I disassemble something, or just to talk, man. You know, when we start talking about guns, we can talk forever.
Yeah.
You know,
I know that firsthand, bro. I know that thing firsthand. It's good insight, man.
You know, so, but yeah, man, you know, we definitely appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, bringing us on, man, and, you know, giving us an opportunity to reach out to new people.
Look, bro, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I appreciate y'all, bro, because like I said, I came to my boy for over a year, and he wanted to actually help me get, well, he actually was the one that helped me get jump started on this podcast. So, like, with him, he like family to me, and of course, you family too now. You just came to my house. No little junkie joke, man. He done drunk about shit. You know, smoke cigars.
I smoked up your cigar.
Hey, man, look. But it's all love, though,
Yeah, then took my shoes off.
Hey, look, man. It's family around here, bro. We trying to create a family atmosphere. We trying to promote black businesses. If there's anything, like we can do.
Wine.
Yeah, like, we smooth like the wine, baby. Like I said, man, like, black businesses. That's all we want. That's all we trying to aim to do. If anything, before I end this podcast, let's propose a toast, man. I was thinking about doing it in the back of my head. Let's propose a toast to black businesses, man. If we can do anything else when we end this, and it could be one image, and I might have to do a second toast to black, you know. But let's propose a toast to black businesses, man, because not a lot of people out here trying to do it and promote it, but black businesses, man, you know.
I'm about to say, put something in my glass, please. Thank you, sir.
And to those who don't know, hey, look, you might want to. That's
Black Girl Magic.
And then we got.
Yeah, we heard you, Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Talking that shit.
And we got the Snoop Dogg collection too over here. We, like I said, black businesses, man. I I'm good. Yeah, shoot, I got on all black, you know, all black
Appreciate
brands
that,
and everything, man. So,
hey, Will, no question, man. Thank you, man.
Alright. Hold on, you want to get on your live, bro?
Oh, no, we here.
Yeah, we
Alright,
good.
black businesses.
businesses.
Alright.
Let's go.
Black excellence.
And with that being said, y'all, this is Kimberly Sykes doing another segment of My Mom Mondays, checking out. And that was like
oh, yo, this is still recording.
8.5 wins, 7-9 last year, despite a defense that Mike Zimmer called the worst he's ever had. That's saying something considering he's been coaching defense since the mid-90s. So they go out, they signed Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yeah,